A person who knows a lot about these sort of coalitions and numbers and data. We're going to bring in now Steve Kornacki because we have our first look at the exit polling, and that may tell us some interesting things. So, Steve, what does it look like?
Yeah, Jen, I mean, we're getting, keep in mind, this is the first wave. They are going to come in increments tonight, and obviously the voting still taking place for a few hours in New Hampshire. But what we're starting to get is a glimpse at what the electorate looks like today in New Hampshire. And there's a couple things in this first wave that I want to point out. First of all, we've talked so much about the role of independent voters, or the potential role of independent voters in this race. And I want to show you, we're asking how folks identify. This is not their actual on-the-record party registration. We don't have access to that. But we asked folks coming into the polls, do you identify as a Republican? Do you identify as a Democrat? Or do you identify as an independent? And here's what we found in this exit poll so far. And I think this jumps right out at you. A minority of voters in this first wave of the exit poll in the Republican primary identify as Republicans. A majority, 53%, identify as either independents, 45%, or, and this is a high number historically, 8% identify as Democrats. For some context here, in 2016, the last competitive Republican primary, presidential primary in New Hampshire, the electorate was 55% Republican. It was 42% independent, and it was 3% Democratic. So in this initial wave, you're seeing some significant differences from 2016. One other item I want to point your attention to here is ideology. We asked folks, again, first wave here, are you somewhat conservative? Are you very conservative? Are you moderate? Or are you liberal? Now, take a look here. The moderate number checks in at 31%. The liberal number checks in at 6%. By comparison, so that's a total, 37% in this exit poll are identifying themselves in a Republican Party primary, are identifying themselves as moderate or liberal. The combined number 8 years ago, last competitive Republican primary in New Hampshire, was 29%. So this electorate, 8 percentage points more moderate and liberal, at least in this first wave of the exit polling, than it was 8 years ago. Also, the very conservative number was 26% 8 years ago. It sits at 24 here. That's more of a modest difference right there. But what you're seeing in this initial wave, what you're seeing is a lot of independents and a lot of folks who think of themselves as Democrats. And again, they're not actually registered Democrats right now. If they were, they couldn't participate in this primary. But they think of themselves as Democrats. That number, 8%, is very, very high. Historically, in the New Hampshire Republican primary, you're not going to see a number like that. So the combination right now in this first wave is majority non-Republican. Again, folks still voting. Exit poll, we're still going to add more waves to it. So that's sort of a baseline. That's a baseline here at 5 o'clock. And let's see how that plays out in the coming hours. And again, polls close most of the state at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Now, Steve, we obviously haven't seen any of the votes counted yet. The polls are still open. People are voting. But we were just talking about coalitions, and that makeup seems to be a good sign for Nikki Haley, given those are more the type of people who would potentially vote for her if you're looking at demographics and past polling. Or what is your thought on that? Yeah,
well, I mean, we've known all week, and I think the Haley campaign has made little secret of it, that, they are relying here in New Hampshire disproportionately on independent voters, on non-Republican voters, on getting as many of them out and as getting a big share of them as they possibly can. The question of what share she's getting, is one that we will find out later, and we can talk about later. And again, we still need to see in this exit poll and ultimately as results start coming in at 7 o'clock. But certainly on paper, we just talked about, all week, is the independent turnout going to be higher? Is it going to be lower than 2016? Are there going to be folks who think of themselves as Democrats participating in this in meaningful numbers? Are they not? Are they going to be on the Democratic side doing the Biden write-in campaign? And again, I stress, it's the initial wave. There will be more exit poll data to come in the ensuing hours, and then there'll be the actual votes at 7 o'clock. But the initial wave shows you a composition of this New Hampshire Republican electorate that's a little different. It's frankly a lot different than we've seen before.